Hello, students. The purpose of this lecture is to go over how to utilize the citation generators that are present in the library databases, but also how to fix them, because sometimes the citations are not always correct. So it's always important to double check. Now, let's say that I've been doing some research and I find this article that I want to use in my paper. Great. So the next step will be, of course, to cite it and put it in my Works Cited page. I'm going to go to the very top where I find Cite. Pretty nifty, right? Click on that. And I'm doing an MLA 8th edition paper. And so I need to go ahead and select that citation, MLA 8th edition. Great. As you can see, the citation is automatically generated for me. All I have to do is copy and then put this here on my Works Cited page. And naturally, I will have to make it double spaced and create that hanging indent in order to align with MLA 8th edition formatting. But once I've done that, I'm not quite finished with the whole thing yet. I have to double check to make sure that this citation got all of the correct information and all of the information that it could have gotten from my article. In order to do this, I need to verify the citation against a reference guide, like the Little Seagull Handbook or the Purdue OWL. This particular source that I cited from is from the library database ProQuest, and it originally came from the New York Times. It was a review that was written by Ben Brantley, as you can see up here at the top. Now, once I know generally what I'm looking at, I'm going to go ahead and go back here and look at this information. Okay, so I have my author last name, first name. This is the article title. It appears to be in quotations. ProQuest is listed. That's good. There's a date here and a link. But is all of this information correct? And could I be putting in more information? Let's check the Purdue OWL just to be sure. If you want to follow along in the Little Seagull Handbook, the example that I'm using with the Purdue OWL can also be found on page 141. I'm going to walk you through exactly how I corrected the citation to appear like this. So if I navigate over here to the Purdue OWL, I am on the MLA Works Cited Electronic Sources tab. This is where I'm probably going to be going most of the time for my papers because a lot of information out there is online nowadays. Now, as you can see here, I have a bullet pointed list for the basic style for citations from electronic sources. And I have this really nifty template that I can use. Now, this is a lot of information. Let me try to make it a little bit easier. As I said, I am pulling from a newspaper article that is in a library database, i.e. ProQuest. And the Purdue OWL and your textbook on page 141 give an example of this. If I scroll down, I will find an article from an online database. And even here, it gives a couple of examples, including our very own ProQuest, but you can use this with any online database that you access. I'm going to be referencing this specific example and comparing it against what I have from the citation generator. Okay, so let's work through this step by step. We have the author's last name and then the first name. If I go back, I see, yeah, that was right. Thanks, ProQuest. You did cite that correctly. And so on my new citation, I'm just going to put that right there because everything seems to be fine. If I head back to the Purdue OWL, the next thing that I'm looking for is the title of the article in quotation marks. I head back here. Okay, that seems to also be correct. And so that remains the same down here as well. If I want to, I can always verify this information with my original article. It's always good to do this, right? Just in case. Let's see what's next. So the original citation from the generator has ProQuest listed here. Okay, that makes sense. I got my source from ProQuest, right? Well, I did, but as you can see here by this example, the article originated with the historic journal. ProQuest is the secondary container in this instance. Therefore, I need to change it. I go back here. The article was originally published in the New York Times. That's my first container, and it's italicized. So we're good there. As you can see up here, I verify this. Okay, we're moving along just fine. Let's head back to the Purdue OWL. So I have where the article was originally published, and then I can put in the volume number, the issue number, the date it was published, and the page numbers. However, I do not have all of this information. If I go back to my review, my original article, there is no volume number, there's no issue number. It's an article from a newspaper, so there's no page numbers. However, there is a publication date. So as you can see here, it's listed as 2007. If I go back to the article, I'm given a very specific date, which is really nice, December 4th, 2017. Let's look at my citation again. Okay, so December 4th, 2017, correct, right? Yes, the date is correct. However, the formatting is incorrect. Remember, in MLA, it is supposed to be formatted as day, month, followed by the year. So that's also something the generator got wrong. Yikes. So after I've put the original container, I'm going to do comma, and then I'm going to put the date in the correct formatting. 04 December 2017, period. Just as the Purdue OWL has instructed me to do. After the end of all of this information, I need to go ahead and put that punctuation mark. Now is the time to put my online database where I got the information from. ProQuest is in italics, and I've gone ahead and done that here, and then I've put a comma for what is next. Again, going back to the Purdue OWL, we have the DOI, which can sometimes be found with certain articles, not always. If I go back to my original article, I can try to find the DOI. I'm just going to do a control find, and then DOI. Doesn't seem to be here. Couldn't find it. So instead, I can use the link that was given to me with the original citation. Or if I scroll down, sometimes at the bottom of the article, I will find the source URL, which is also very valuable. And I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste this and put it into my citation, my new citation, after the comma. Now, something very important to note about copying and pasting links. If I go to the Purdue OWL and I scroll up for just a second, I see that when I'm putting in a URL, it says to not include the https://. Let's take a look at this original citation. Whoops, it did. So if I was copying and pasting based on the citation generator, then I would have to delete this beginning phrase according to the Purdue OWL. And I've deleted it here. Instead, my URL starts with www as it's supposed to. It has omitted the http://. Awesome, we're on our way. Back to the Purdue OWL. Okay, I found my example once again. DOI we didn't have, so we went ahead and put in that URL starting with www. The last piece of information, the date of access. Going on back to my incorrect citation, it doesn't have it. What gives? So I need to go ahead and put that in for myself. Accessed day, month, year, specific to the day that you're researching. I hope this helps you understand citation generators a little bit more and ways to fix them and ways in which you can double check against the reference guides. If you're still confused or if you still have questions, please feel free to shoot me an email. I'm more than happy to help. Until then, I will see you next time.